Hi, friends. Today we will talk about one of the most relevant and significant topics in psychology: addiction. Addiction affects millions of people around the world, and its impact can be devastating for both the person and their loved ones. In this video, we will discuss what addiction is, consider its main causes, and of course, discuss methods for combating its various types. What is addiction? Addiction is a condition in which a person loses control over the use of a certain substance or the repetition of a certain behavior, despite the obvious harm to their health or life. It is important to note that addiction can be both physical and psychological. Physical addiction occurs when the body begins to require a substance or action to function normally. Psychological addiction is associated with an emotional need, when a person uses the object of addiction as a means of relieving stress or getting pleasure. Causes of addiction. Addiction is a complex phenomenon that develops under the influence of many factors. One of the key factors is genetic predisposition. If there have been cases of addiction in the family, the risk of its development in descendants increases significantly. This does not mean that a person will necessarily become addicted, but his chances are higher. Psychological factors play an equally important role. People with low self-esteem, a tendency to depression or anxiety, are more likely to resort to substances or behavior that temporarily improve their emotional state. For example, alcohol or drugs can give a feeling of relief or joy, which allows you to forget about problems for a while. Social factors also greatly influence the development of addiction. Pressure from society, an environment in which the use of substances or certain behavior is considered the norm, can contribute to the formation of addiction. Often people start using alcohol, drugs, or engaging in risky behavior under the influence of friends or colleagues. Types of addiction. There are many types of addiction, and they all have a negative impact on a person's life. The first is chemical addiction includes alcohol, drug, and medication addiction. These types of addiction involve the use of substances that alter the state of consciousness and cause addiction. The problem with chemical addiction is that the person begins to need the substance to function normally, which leads to serious health consequences. The second is behavioral addiction involves repetitive behavior that is also addictive. Examples include gambling addiction, internet and social media addiction, shopping addiction, and many others. Although these addictions do not involve the use of chemicals, they can be just as destructive to a person's life. Effects of addiction has a devastating effect on a person's physical and mental health. Physical consequences can include deterioration in health, development of chronic diseases, and even death. Psychological consequences include depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and loss of interest in life. Addiction also destroys social connections. Relationships with family, friends, and coworkers can be severely damaged by the addict's uncontrollable behavior. This can lead to isolation, loss of support, and even deeper addiction. Addiction treatment methods. Fortunately, addiction is a condition that can and should be treated. One of the first steps toward recovery is recognizing the problem. A person must realize that they are addicted and that their behavior is harmful to them. Professional help is an important part of treatment. This may include therapy, medication, and support groups. Psychotherapy helps a person understand the reasons for their addiction, change their attitude to life, and learn to cope with difficulties without using substances or harmful behavior. Support groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous or Drugs Anonymous provide an opportunity to communicate with people who have encountered the same problem. Mutual help and support play a key role in overcoming addiction. Changing your lifestyle is another important aspect. Sports, hobbies, new interests help fill the void that occurs when you give up the object of addiction. Conclusion: addiction is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, but it can be overcome. Recognizing the problem, asking for help, and working on yourself are key steps on the path to freedom from addiction. Remember that everyone deserves to live a full and happy life without addiction. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself and your loved ones.